Hey, gang, welcome to another edition of Argento, Sweet Argento. In a little bit, a couple minutes or so, we're going to talk about opera and trauma. And yes, this is a pre recorded video because I'm doing about half live streams, half pre recorded videos now in order to give me a little more time to concentrate on the matter at hand. I'm just going to lighten things up just a little bit. Um, but I'm sorry if I seem a little spacey. I have not been feeling well. Still not feeling much better today. But I did want to do this recording. So I apologize if I don't seem, completely with it. So, but I am going to talk about these. I'm going to give my rating on both of them. But I did want to remind you what's coming up the rest of the week. We got Apples and Oranges, which will be a live stream starting tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully, I'll be able to have Chris or maybe perhaps some more people on here with me to talk about the best Argento Giallo, Deep Red, Tenebrae, Phenomena, or Opera. Thursday, I'm planning a live stream. I'm planning on doing a deep dive into Deep Red. I know I've been talking a lot about Deep Red, but Deep Red is my favorite Argento film. Friday Foolish will be me and Candace. This will probably start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time due to Candace having a new job that prevents her from doing it at 1 o'clock with me. So we've been changing it to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk about Hammer and Gothic Horror. Once again, this is going to be part 2 of Hammer and Gothic Horror. There should be a pre recorded Terror Time Tea at some point on Friday, where I will be talking about Argento's The Card Player. No watch alongs this weekend, but the last weekend of the month, we will be having Tenebrae and Phenomena. And never fear, those of you that love Suspiria, I will be doing a Suspiria watch along at some point after Argento August is over, perhaps in September, possibly in October, but October is, of course, going to be Fulci Fall, so we're going to be having a lot of programming that is Lucio Fulci related. I did get my my Robert England photo op purchase, so I am all ready for Horror Hound the 13th through the 15th of September. I will be there on the 14th, which is Saturday. I can't talk Saturday. And me and Steve will be, trying to video as much as we can at the Horror Hound convention to be able to share with you folks when we get back. So, I think that's it for updates. Oh, I will be doing an unboxing of my Night Marathon Survival Kit. It is supposed to arrive on Thursday, but it could be late on Thursday. So more than likely, I will be doing a unboxing, or if I can't do an unboxing, I will show the stuff that came in this Night Marathon Survival Kit from Bright Rags. That's all part of the Night Marathon, Dusk Till Dawn movie marathon that Joe Bob's going to have on the last drive-in. All right, so let's get to these Argento movies, shall we? So the first one is Opera. And you know what? I'll be totally honest about Opera with you guys and gals. For the longest time, this was not a favorite Argento film of mine. And now I don't understand why. This came out in 1987, and it's here's a short and sweet plot synopsis. A young opera singer is stalked by a deranged fan bent on killing the people associated with her to claim her for himself. Okay. And this has some great kill shots in it. And one of the most fantastic, I guess you would call it torture shots, because what the killer does as he's getting ready to kill each person, he holds this girl hostage, and to keep her from closing her eyes as the killer kills people around her, they put needles on tape and tape them underneath her eyes. Therefore, she cannot close her eyes or it's excruciating pain. You do see, a couple of scenes where actually she almost closes them and there's blood running out of her eyelids. A great shots from the eyeballs looking through the needles. I had never seen anything like this before, uh, in before or since, um, to be honest. And so over the years, I've gained a greater appreciation for this film. And also, I recently rewatched it with Steve. I believe he got the 4K in recently, and we sat and watched it. And I was just amazed at, the craft that Argento has once again for this film. And I don't know why, for the longest time, I did not appreciate this film the way it should have been appreciated, right? So, great kills in it, a great setup to the kills. Like I said, I've never seen this before or since. Um, and I should have done, a great thumbnail with these. Steve got these little plastic glasses that actually look like the eyes with the needles, just below the eye there. Um, and he said, you should do that. You should take a picture and, oh gosh, take a picture and then make a thumbnail picture out of it. And I neglected to do that, but I probably can still use that. And I'd feel better asking Steve, can I go ahead and open these glasses? Because he hasn't even taken them out yet. And they came with his new Opera 4K. But yeah, I really, really like this. I like the twist. I like the reveal of the killer, which I'm not going to reveal who the killer is on here, just in case you have not seen Opera. But it is a really good reveal, um, as most Jallos are, when they do the reveal of who the killer is. Um, and you know, I wouldn't have get years ago. I wouldn't have given this review or this rating for it, but I'm going to give it 4 deadites out of 5. Because I just think this is an amazing little film, amazing little Jallo. Argento did a great job with this. I love a lot of the shots. There is one shot where the killer points a gun into a peephole, and you watch the bullet slowly go to the peephole and in to the person's head. And it's just a fantastic shot. It's one that you gotta see it to believe it. Plus, there are other rather bloody kills for if that's your forte and you want to see some slashing and all of that going on and blood splattering all over the place. You will certainly see that with the Opera. The shots of the are they ravens? I think they're ravens. Uh, and the swooping shots that are supposed to be the bird's point of view in the film is just absolutely fantastic. The camera movements, all of that. So this one definitely deserves the 4 deadites out of 5, and some people may even give it a 5 deadites out of 5. But that is opera. Sorry, I had something on my screen there. And here's a movie, Trauma, which I went back and forth on, not between loving it and hating it, but just how well I like it. And I really, really like it. Um, so much so, in fact, that it's probably going to get the same rating as Opera. Um, so this one also has a couple of several well-known actors and actresses in this. So we have Piper Laurie in this. We have Brad Dourif, Frederick Forrest. It's just kind of a gallery of people that are well known, and dare I say it, famous. Um, at least in these at least in the horror circles, that is. This one came out in 1993, about an hour and 46 minutes, give or take. So Christopher Rydell plays a young man who is an ex-drug addict. He's trying to help a teenage girl, played by Asia Argento, find the serial killer who murdered her parents before the killer comes after them. And the killer is this is interesting too, how the killer beheads the victims. First of all, they usually hit them in the back of the head with a hammer, incapacitating them. And then they take a device and cut the head off. I mean, it's not a traditional way of cutting it off with an axe or a machete or something like that. This is some kind of gadget. I don't know what you would call this thing. It looks like it has, some kind of metal uh, wire on it, and when you turn it on, if you put it up next to the throat, it starts cutting into the throat. And I think this is probably one of my favorite Asia Argento roles. And I also think that this was the most attractive Asia Argento looked. She's playing a 16-year-old girl. I'm not exactly sure how old Asia Argento really was in this. I'd probably have to ask Steve about that. Um, but she was absolutely, to me, she was stunning. Um, later on in life, you know, I know we all get older and stuff like that, but poor Asia Argento got where she looked like she was strung out on something or another. But um, this was a younger, I guess, more innocent Asia Argento, and I loved her acting in this. And she just exuded some kind of innocence that really meshed well with Christopher Rydell's character of David. And you can tell that they have like an innocent love for each other. It's not like it's just, I want to get off with this person. This is a really deep felt love for one another. So that added a little extra to the film as well. And Piper Laurie was absolutely fantastic as always in this. Brad Dourif, even though his part was very small, he really shined when he was on the screen as this, I guess, dethroned doctor. And I don't want to give too much away, but Piper Laurie keeps talking about Nicholas. And she is a psychic, a medium, and apparently she seems to talk through, or Nicholas talks through her, and people come to hear what Nicholas has to say about, deceased loved ones, or things of that nature. So the uniqueness of the kills, the great chemistry between Aja Argento and Christopher Rydell, the addition of Piper Laurie and Frederick Forrest, which Frederick Forrest, by the way, as Dr. Judd, is very, very good in this as well. I almost didn't know him at first, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's Frederick Forrest. And Brad Dourif, of course, um, rounds out the cast amazingly well. And I really, really enjoyed it this time around. Both of these are Steve's copies, the Opera Blu-ray and the Trauma Blu-ray as well. I actually have Trauma on DVD, but for whatever reason, I have not upgraded it. So I enjoyed watching it tonight before I went on here to talk about these films in a Blu-ray version. So the only thing that I did not like about Trauma upon rewatching it, I had forgotten about this, is this goofy little kid who appears to see the murderer and the murderer's victims, or at least their heads, because the killer is uh, taking up residence in the house next door. And the kid, though, is so goofy. The kid seems so out of place in this. I wish Argento could have figured out another way to, it's a kid that likes butterflies and stuff like that, which is fine, but the kid's just so goofy. I just really, I was like, why is he here? He doesn't really serve any purpose because uh, Aja Argento and Christopher Rydell's character figure out who the killer is anyway. They don't really need this kid. By the time the Christopher Rydell's character of David comes upon this kid, the kid's not talking. He's like a mute. He's just like pointing with his butterfly net. So um, that was the only weak link for me with Trauma. The rest of it was absolutely fantastic. The kills were fantastic. The the device used to cut the heads off, and there's a fantastic scene where a woman has just had her head cut off. But you know how they say that I wouldn't want to find out this, if this is true or not. But they say after a decapitation, the head can see and stuff for so many seconds. Um, this fantastic shot of a woman's head, I'm sure it's her real head, and they've got it sticking up through boards in the floor or whatever. But it appears to be severed, and she's trying to talk to Christopher Rydell's character to let him know where he can find the doctor, the dethroned doctor, um, played by Brad Dourif. So another fantastic film. I loved going back and watching this. Forgot just how much I did enjoy it. And both of these, I still enjoy both of these more than I do Inferno. And I'm also going to give Trauma 4 deadites out of 5, just because it's so fantastic. But not so fantastic, neither one of them are, that I can give it a 5, but I will give it a 4. I think 4 is completely justified on both of these films. So I don't really want to ramble on and on and on about stuff. I just wanted to get on here for about 20 minutes, which is what I did, and talk about these two films a little bit and give you my rating on each. And I guess that's all from me until tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Apples and Oranges. Going to talk about our favorite Jello out of the list of, I believe, four that I had. Um, I'm not sure where my paper went now. That was weird. Okay. I had it right here. Here it is. I told y'all, like, I have not been feeling good, so my brain has been all over the place. But the movies we're going to talk about on Apples and Oranges is the best Argento Giallo, Deep Red, Tenebrae, Phenomena, and Opera. Okay? So, I'm off like a dirty shirt, but I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Hump Day is tomorrow, folks. We're going to be at the halfway mark of the week. Let's push it on through and get to the weekend, and let's make this weekend fantastic. And I'll see everybody next time. Take care, folks.